United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. Do we have any public discussion? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda and minutes, or any discussion? Okay,
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the agenda or minutes? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carried unanimous. Next up, reviewing and approving the claims and conservation claims. Those are in our packet. Has everyone seen them? Any questions, comments? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve. I'll move to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carried unanimous. Dan, we are up to update from VA.
Okay. Well, again, good morning, guys. Good
Good morning, Dan.
Little bit of an update for the month of May, ending on May 31st. I sent you some information here last week, Friday. Telephone calls 26, messages, voicemail, email, and US mail 51. Had 44 walk-ins to the office, 28 appointments. We did 2 transports to medical appointments, got a couple hearing aids repaired, and submitted 118 VA forms for completion by VA for processing. Currently, I'm tracking 1,216 records. Of that, about 1,035 are active, so I'm maintaining the rest of those as a history. I had, at that time, currently 36 claims in the system, 15 ready for decision, 17 under development that I'm working on, 1 supplemental, and 2 healthcare enrollments. As far as training, this Friday my office will be closed because District 5 will be here hosting their training over at the Election Center all day, so looking forward to that. For outreach, I'm looking at attending I did attend the intern breakfast back on May 29th. Preparing for the mobile medical unit that's going to be here on July 1st. I sent the flyer in your packet. Spoke with KLGA yesterday. We're going to get some 30-second ad spots ran, and then we're going to work with Brian Wilson to kind of do a news kind of update. So that's still work in progress. Confirmed and planning to attend the county breakfast on July 31st. Finally got my SOP updated. The commissioners will review that for signature next month in July. Also working on my quarterly report. That will also be ready for review and signature in July. I'm drafting my state grant monies report. I'm at about a 95% solution, and so that'll be ready to go, and that will be for the new fiscal year. And then the 2023 GDX report, I had sent that to you in your packet. Just a couple key takeaways on that, guys, is even though the veteran population for last year changed by 21, all of the expenses and the benefits increased. So since 2019, total expenditures increased $2,999,000 over that time frame. We had an increase for 2023 on compensation and pension of $99,000. Voc rehab went up another $20,000, and then medical care benefits went up another $279,000. So all in all, pretty successful. We'll just keep, touching base with those folks and getting them the benefits that they need. But wanted to share that with you. And then in behind, this is the report that I got it from. So that kind of explains that. For the snapshot, as far as for works in progress and for the month of May, monthly awards, we had $5,907.07 and retroactive benefits of $9,617.19. You see the other benefits that are listed there, but I would draw your attention to the veterans compensation, which did spike because I did have some of my claims actually get decided on, so that was kind of nice. But for that time frame, $540,041.30, and then retroactive benefits due to the veterans totaling $2,275,923.13. So I thought that was pretty good. We did have, unfortunately, an increase in veterans passing. So the burial service connection went up to 30,000 so far for the year. And we currently have 51 veterans in the county that I'm tracking that are permanent and total disabled. And that has went up from 48. So, and I anticipate after the June decisions on the claims that have been finalized to date for this month, that number is probably going to spike another 4 or 5. The other thing I just wanted to quickly review with you was the House file that was signed by the governor. House File 259, the key takeaway there is that the state approved the written language legislatively to award veteran status to any resident of the state that served in the component of the armed forces who is in receipt of service-connected disability from the Department of VA and was discharged under honorable conditions. This was done to more align with the federal guidelines, but this arose out of a cadet at a military academy, going to school there for a number of years, and as a cadet serving, didn't achieve veteran status as defined by Iowa Code at that time. She got injured. She filed a claim with VA, is in receipt of VA compensation, but can't take advantage of any veterans benefits because she's not quote unquote a veteran. This fixed that along with many other things. It renewed the continuance of $10,000 each year to the County Veteran Service Officer, provided that funds are available. And then jumping over to House File 2663, there's a key change there, and that's an additional $3,000 on top of the $10,000 to be provided specifically for national training. Because now, in order to get my CEUs, I have to attend national, either in person or virtual. And so that is another additional $3,000 on top of that. And then of course, the Senate File 2430, basically that affords the County Veteran Service Officer working with their clients to get a death certificate amended easier than, before it was, I think you had like 90 days, and then it took a court order to get that amended afterwards. Now we get at least 12 months. So that process is critical in the fact that if a veteran had passed due to their service-connected conditions, and we note that, but maybe the death certificate doesn't reflect that, we can go back to the coroner's office and work with them to get that amended and changed. The other thing is, had some information in there about the affiliate spotlight on Veterans Affairs, and it talks about in more detail the House files that I articulated. And I thought that was a very nice article by Mr. Lucas Dinkin. And then of course the flyer. Now, they put that nice little vehicle up there, and I hope that's the nice little vehicle that I get to see when it shows up. I'm told it's a new vehicle. And if you'll recall, we tried to do this about 2 years ago before COVID hit, and it started taking off real well, and then COVID hit and kind of shut everything down. So the goal is to get it implemented again, and hopefully we can set a routine schedule. And the purpose behind all that is to bring VA services to Northwest Iowa. And instead of maybe a veteran having to drive to Mason City or Fort Dodge or Spirit Lake, whatnot, they can reschedule their appointments and be seen by their provider either remotely or in person right here. So that's the goal anyway, and we'll see how that goes. The first one kicking off on July 1st. And subject to your questions, that's really all I had.
Well, Dan forgot to mention, as I noticed on Facebook last night, that
Yes.
Dan has been selected as Service Officer of the Year by the American Legion. So congratulations,
I
Dan.
get my 10 minutes of fame. Thank you.
Well deserved.
Alrighty. Well, thanks, guys. Have a good
Thank you.
Yep, thanks, Dan.
Alright. Next up is a discussion decision letter of support for Kossuth County Fair Grandstand Project. Good morning, guys.
Good
Morning,
morning.
I'm Ben Crown. That's what was handed out in our kickoff. The fundraiser kickoff was,
Thank you.
guess I didn't keep one for myself.
Thank you. Here, you can have mine.
There
I
you
can,
go.
I
Well,
can, I can.
Nope, it's fine, I got more in my truck.
Is this what I put in the packet too? Is it something
Um,
else in your packets?
I'm not necessarily here to go through this packet. I mean, it's something I hopefully you guys take the time to look through.
Yeah.
See the numbers, see the importance. Really what I was looking for is a letter of support from the supervisor saying, we support this project, the importance of this project, the importance of our fairgrounds, stuff like that. Which is, I think is a good thing that the community would like to see. Say, hey, we're behind this, we support it, we think it needs to happen. And if you guys don't think that, then don't write the letter. But I would hope so. But I mean, ultimately, that's all I'm looking for is that to show the community that you guys are behind it and the importance of it, and promote it. I mean, I think I sent you the PDF of this,
I think last night or yesterday you sent me a,
and then,
yeah,
you know, on the back
sample letter.
is all for our campaign team, all our emails and stuff. I don't know why they got my email on that one, but you have the email that I
Yeah, cause
responded to.
we have all this in our packet.
Okay,
We
yeah,
got
as
last week.
but I wanted to give you the official version.
Yeah, no, that's
Appreciate it.
good for sure.
I did make sure I included this in the packet.
Perfect,
From what
thank
you
you.
sent me before.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not here to take up much time and go through this, go through all these numbers, do that. I mean, you guys know how to read and can read through it. I draw on your own time and that way we're not rushed through it. And
Already have.
But, yeah, all we're looking for is support and from you guys and the importance. I sent you a letter of support that I've gotten from
New Poil.
from other places. And I just gave you one for an example. So
Yep.
that's what we're looking for. I mean,
I move to support the fair project.
Or direct the letter to be written.
Direct the letter to be written and
Okay.
and you can just send it to the new co-op email that I emailed you on, so.
Sounds good. I'll second.
Okay.
So are you approving a letter or
no,
you just?
we're gonna draft the
I
letter.
think
that was gonna be my
Okay,
question.
yeah,
What
it's
what
what
do we
is that?
actually do?
Yeah.
I was clarifying, direct the letter to be written. We don't
Direct
have
the
a
letter
letter
to be
yet.
written
Yeah.
of support for
Okay.
Kossuth County Fair.
So then, do we want to put something together and then have that on a future agenda to actually approve the letter, or is this approving what gets written?
I think we can,
Be alright if I just, I mean, we can come up with modifying language and
I think
you
we
guys
should read the letter.
read the letter at
Before
a
we
meeting.
approve
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and for us to sign it and stuff, and.
Yeah, we'll probably have to do that next week.
But this week, get together, modify
Okay,
the letter and
okay.
just read it next week.
And then, yeah, that'd be great to
Yeah.
actually read the letter during during the
Yep.
meetings. That way it gets out there even more, you know?
Yep.
We'll do that.
All right,
Thank you.
How'd the kickoff go?
This year wasn't a good year as far as, on Sundays, people wanted to get in their field, get their stuff done. It was a beautiful
We
day.
ran into that, yeah.
Yeah, so it was there, but
Sure.
we made it work.
Alright.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Yep,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
Alright, we have a motion and second on the floor to write a letter and bring that back to the board here. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Alright.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carried unanimous. Next up is our appropriation resolution for the new fiscal year. Has everyone seen that in your packet? Any questions with that? Anything you wanna say about it, Tammy, or otherwise normal business?
That's everything you've already approved in the budget.
Yep. And this would be resolution 6/18/2401. So, if there's no questions, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve.
Okay.
Resolution.
We have a motion, is there a second? I'll second. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Plath, Jerks,
Yes.
Wactor,
Yes.
Nath,
Yes.
Stecker.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous.
Thank you.
Yep. Alright, next up we have the local option sales tax transfer. It's in our packet. Any questions on that? Otherwise, let the record reflect we acknowledge that transfer.
Just to remind you, usually that's 300,000, it was 450 this time because the additional 150,000 you added,
Yep.
so.
Yep. Alright, next up is resolution dissolving the 28E agreement with Precinct Atlas.
So I
Do we have
sent,
any?
that to Todd, and I have not gotten a response back from him, so
Okay.
I'd like to get his,
Table,
okay
yeah.
before, so if we can wait till we hear back from him on that.
Do you
It's-
do
it's
you
a-
expect anything yet
No.
today?
Yeah, he had sent me an email earlier to come see him during break, so I don't know if
Okay.
it was about this or not, but we can talk to him. And this
So
is
if we
just,
just leave this for later on
Yeah,
today,
mhm.
okay,
and this is a copy, of what Boone County passed when they dissolved theirs with Precinct
Okay.
Atlas, so it's the same thing, so. But I think we should make
Let's-
sure it's okay with him.
yep. We'll just save that for later on in our agenda here. Roger, we're up next to hiring process for deputy sheriff.
Perfect. Good morning.
Good morning.
I asked Tammy to put this on the agenda last week, knowing that we are now one deputy short. And then I just received notification, late Friday, but then a corrected version of a retirement letter yesterday. So now I'm 2 deputies short. So Deputy Shane Grimm, as you may have already heard, left employment here, excuse me, here at Kossuth County. It is now employed with the Clear Lake Police Department. And then Deputy Brian Runneberg just announced or gave me his retirement letter. As I said, Friday, it had the wrong dates on it, so he gave me the corrected version. He will be officially retired July 2nd. So when I discuss with you about starting the hiring process, I'll just go through the process in case you have any questions, because I want to get started on it. It is about a 45 to 60 day time frame of when we start the process of hiring a deputy. And that's because we have to follow the civil service guidelines, make sure that we do advertisement, make sure that we have a waiting period from the time that we take applications until we do the testing. So I just here today to get your permission to start that process. so we can start getting the word out there, and then we'll follow the guidelines of civil service. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe just recently we added our third member of the Civil Service Commission that was approved.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to make that meeting, but
Yeah.
Mr. Lawyer is now a part of our Civil Service Commission, so we got that taken care of. Now it's just a matter of, as sheriff, I'm required to make sure that we follow the guidelines for the hiring process. And this is step one, getting your approval to move forward on start advertising. So just a few things for your information. I did interview and talk with Deputy Grimm. A couple of his concerns were the uncertainty of pay raises and the uncertainty of what's going to happen with family health insurance were two of the factors of why he left employment. And then the other one, of course, is retirement. So, but if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Don't be shocked, you're going to see some overtime in the next 2 months. We are too short now, and we've got a lot of obligations going on. If you're not aware of it, the trial starts up in Dixon County next week, and that will require 3 or 4 of our staff members to be there full time, because we are responsible for security for that. So one of those will probably be myself, so that we can cut back on shift coverage and overtime. But back to this, I just need your approval to start that process so we can start advertising. One of the things I do think we might need to take into consideration in the future, a lot of agencies now are now withdrawing on the requirement to live in the jurisdiction. I think a year or 2 ago, you guys did allow us to have staff members live in a community that's bordered to Kossuth County. Most agencies now are doing it within an hour. As a sheriff, I wouldn't want to see our patrol vehicles leaving the county for an hour, but a lot of them are driving their personal vehicles into work. And it's just one of the things we've got to keep in mind, because it's another obstacle that we're going to face on trying to retain and recruit good employees. Because agencies all across are now like, hey, you know, even if they want to drive in an hour, at least we're getting a certified officer that we think is going to stay with us. Mm-hmm. And the frustrating thing for us is we had a really good young deputy that I think would have stayed for his career, but he had to make some choices because of personal decisions and finances and the ability to how he's going to cover that. So that's why we lost one of them. But I'm nervous and concerned that we aren't going to get a lot of applicants. I'm hoping that Kossuth County is listening to me right now, that all the people out there that were saying about, you know, well, we got to make sure we cut the budget and do everything, come apply. We're going to have an opening for 2 positions. So I hope we get a lot of applicants and some good people that want to serve the public, because we're a great department to work for, and I look forward to going through the process of adding 2 deputies. Just need your blessing to get started.
Well,
So moved.
okay. I have a motion and a second to move forward with the hiring process for deputy sheriff replacement. Any further discussion?
Yeah, when you were talking about opening it up for within an hour distance, is that a change that we need to make on our end, or is that just?
I just think it's something we need to look at in the future. Right now, I'd like to just keep it within the border or bordering communities that are on the, like, for example, West Bend, Laverne, or 2 of our communities that the city limits are on the border.
Yeah.
I'd like to keep it that way. If you look down the road, I think you'd have to have a requirement that, for example, with Deputy Grimm, or I should say Officer Grimm, now he's now an officer, he will have to drive his personal vehicle back and forth. But the requirements is they're allowing him to live further away from the jurisdiction, just because it's harder to retain and recruit good certified officers. And that's the advantage when you hire a certified officer, is you don't have to, you know, send them to the academy. And just so you guys are aware, Deputy Grimm was certified through Wyoming. We certified him in Iowa, but it was only a 1-week online training. So we have no reimbursement costs involved with him. And with Deputy Runenberg, he's retirement, so we have no reimbursement costs with him. Any other new deputies that we have to certify, we require them to sign a 3-year contract, employment contract.
Yeah.
So, and just as a guideline, I'll sit down with my staff now. We'll pick out some dates, but what we'll probably do is start advertising within a couple weeks, and then we have that 30-day waiting period from the time we start taking applications, and then we'll do the testing. So probably be back in a couple months with your approval for who we end up hiring.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Do you guys wanna vote?
Yeah,
Yeah.
any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Alright, we got a 35-minute break here, unless we get to Todd earlier
Let me
than.
go talk.
You don't start next till 9, right?
Right,
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
I'll go talk to
Yep.
him.
See each other everywhere. Question for you guys, because we're on break now, right?
Yeah,
When you talk about that carbon pipeline, do you have a map that shows people where in Kossuth County the Summit one is?
do you want a map or?
I would, I think people would be really interested in it too. I appreciate it.
Yeah, are you, well, oh yeah,
I think it's
Summit-
south of 18,
Yeah, the
east west,
Summit
but.
one has
Should be
two parts kind
Two
of,
parts.
because
Oh,
they
right,
have
'cause
the
it's-
main line and
and
a
then
feeder
go up
line
to
they're proposing.
Valero, right?
South and east, west.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't have the one coming down from Lakota here, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I have that.
We
Awesome,
had
let
that
me, I
sent
just
to
took
our
a
email.
picture.
yeah, here's the one.
Oh, is there a map in the packet?
No,
No, not
no.
today.
Luke has them.
You gotta see.
Pickup. Yeah, we could get Luke to print you a map.
Yeah, let me see, I
Thanks,
might
I think,
have
well,
it
this one, I
saved here.
think, this kinda will say,
This is the original one of South 18.
so, okay,
I don't
so,
know if I
um,
saved that one.
is it south of 180th Street? Is that the best way to,
Correct.
south of 180th Street, goes through Irving, or right around Irvington?
Yep, yep.
Okay. And then,
I just was seeing if I had the new one or not. Yeah, okay, I do have the new one here.
awesome. Cell phones are an exciting thing, aren't they?
Actually, this gives you both of them. I didn't know I had that.
Oh, thank you. Cause they had one on their website, but it doesn't,
Oh,
it's
that's-
not,
That's the, one up to the ethanol plant,
Mm-hmm.
okay. I was gonna
Yep.
try and,
Both the summits, yep.
alright, thanks. And it's just, from what I've seen, it's Summit up here.
That's
then
the only
there's-
one in Kossuth County now.
Yeah, and then there's a Wolf one, but that's in like by
That's
Cedar
way down
Rapids.
eastern.
Yeah.
yeah, Navigator was in the north end before, but they canceled their project.
Did they?
So
Okay.
That's what Summit's second line is basically replacing.
Oh, okay.
not-
Which is that the,
I
Not
mean,
the same way, but
yeah, it's not the
Going
same
the other
route,
direction.
but it's serving the same plant, it's coming
Correct.
from a different direction.
Yeah, it's just coming down the
Navi-
east side of the.
Navigator was coming from the west into the ethanol plant, this is coming from the southeast and coming up, so,
Okay.
but it's serving the same purpose.
okay.
Um,
Awesome, thank you, I appreciate it.
yep, oh, I might have just found it here. Yep, okay, I better save this. So, in here.
Does that updated map have Oakville on it, or just with the new?
No, it's the new one.
what did you want to do?
It's the Valero.
Oh, I've seen it,
Oh, okay.
I've seen it, I just.
Do you want me to send you the email so you
It's
can have it
incorporated,
maybe to save?
replanted and grounded out twice and
Probably have
And it's-
somewhere, but I don't know.
we're really close to.
Yeah,
being
I just found it here.
That's why I haven't
Print it
really-
out.
ever just do it.
Yeah. We're, most of the contractors are behind fixing.
Which time?
Yeah, well, there's a year up on that.
Don't sound like it.
Broke that one of my years, you know, we fixed out every year and for how many years it's going again.
Well, some of the miners that,
Well, like Gary's, it's shallow there.
oh, that's what I mean, it's just,
And he's moved over and all that.
and then through the old, Evergreen farm, you know, that's just garbage, you can kick that out with your foot. Yeah.
Well, that's a major deal to get something now.
It's all broken, busted. In the road ditch, it's only 8 inches deep. There's, you know, and that other farm, they farm that 180, you know, they don't dare do any tillage on that either. East of Kenny Euban.
The tablet was really not that bad, that's for drought though. We were on that the other day, put that back in.
But that dial's so shallow in there. What?
Should put a lift in there.
There's a lot
If
of-
they go down.
there's a lot of time on these improvement.
How old that creek is? You'll have a little clay.
There's a whole bunch of it. Look and see if Luke has an update on leases from, if anything's changed.
Yeah, I'll go.
Everybody left.
First time, well, second time, I win. A lot of little spots.
There you go.
First time.
There you go.
Yep. That's, I mean, I'm asking, why better you didn't have. Well, ours is, I mean, it has to stay right now. Whatever.
Did you get to see the new map with the new area?
I can show you what I have. You have a new map?
Yeah. So this is with the current and the proposed.
Okay.
So the current one that they had is the blue one.
So is the blue one already done?
No,
No, okay.
no, that's the one that,
The east-west
they've had planned.
plan, okay,
And then the purple line here is the newer area.
okay.
So that kind of shows you both of what they're proposed.
So I'd say one is east-west to the southern part of the county, and then one runs north and south. It looks like it's border Hancock and then up to the plant in Lakota.
Yep.
Do you guys know, or will you talk about, is there any timeline? Or is it, I mean, when the Iowa Utility Board's gonna talk about this, or?
So, for discussion, I believe that their project got pushed back to 2026, I'm not 100% sure. I recall. I think it's 2026 that they got pushed back to, waiting for the rulings and
And it
stuff.
could be longer than that, cause I'll guarantee you, if they approve eminent domain, there's the landowners are gonna file another lawsuit.
I
Well,
think,
I tell you, one of the biggest, and I didn't know this till 6 months ago, I didn't realize how much water they're gonna suck out.
okay.
Mhm.
It's gonna take billions of gallons of water to push this stuff through the pipeline, through that pipeline.
Would they take water from Kossuth County?
Of our aquifers, sure, they're gonna dug wells.
Well, where
Do
they
they have wells,
had
or?
an intake, so they would have, up in Lakota, they would have to have water feeding to there because that's an intake.
All this morning.
And the ethanol plants already take
Right.
billions of gallons of water, and now this thing goes through, they're gonna take more water.
And the water's not reusable either
We
because
have
they
no
just
idea how much water's underground, but I mean, that's a big concern of mine too, not only the safety of it, but the amount of water that it used to push this stuff through that pipeline.
Interesting to see if the utilities board was doing. Says yes.
Roger asked Roger that this morning, he's kind of, he thinks there's only one person that's gonna go against it.
Hello.
So unless something else happens, it's probably gonna pass.
Right, well, I just know when I was in Mason City, they approved the rate hikes every single time, no matter what people said, so.
It's not good, it's not good.
No, I thought it was, cause I lived along Highway 18, and I thought it was south of, like not, but I just, I don't know. I saw
Well, it's really only.
4 miles.
3-4 miles.
Does it go through, Stinson Prairie? Stinson Prairie is about 2-3 miles.
They can't go through Stinson Prairie because it's protected.
Okay.
They have to go around.
And then they go around, looks like they just skirt the north side of Irvington.
Well, I probably not
What's
there.
the little blacktop
Any
there?
other neighbors.
And then, do you know from looking at that map what rivers it crosses?
Yeah.
Like it crosses the
Des Moines
Des
River for
Moines,
sure.
but there was some more on there, I was just gonna look, I don't know if they're creeks or dredge ditches, they look too wiggly to be dredge
Well, there's
dishes.
a lot of, well, there's prairie.
We do have a lot of ditches.
There's prairie creeks over there south of Wesley.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of creeks and streams.
It doesn't have the names on here.
I don't know my creeks.
I just know
I
prairie.
wonder if it's,
There's another creek, just east of Alpena, that goes, across that blacktop, across McGregor, going south, I don't know what the name of that is.
is it Plum Creek?
No, Plum Creek is up north.
Oh,
But I know there's
I know that 'cause it's like one place.
I know there's one creek there, and it's very.
Well, if you look, I've got the map pulled up here.
It goes across creeks multiple
So-
times,
oh,
I
yeah.
just can't, I didn't know what they were.
So the south part goes across 1, 2, 3, looks like maybe 4, 5.
Right now.
Signs are like saving it.
But the Union Slew's up there, like Union Slew doesn't show up, but
Wait, I'm kinda curious about this, this doesn't show,
Oh,
this doesn't
yeah,
show the.
I was really confused about that, like,
This map
where
here.
they're like.
You live at the north end or south end of county?
This is the south end where,
oh,
cause that
it
blue
doesn't-
line there is the already proposed, the purple line is the newer proposed. And
Well, 'cause
right down here, cause the river comes right up to Algonah, they don't have the Des Moines River on
right
this.
by the fair, on the side of the fairgrounds and down, right? Huh. That's
And
interesting.
then the.
And Union
newer
Slew
one-
is up there,
Yeah.
east of Bancroft and then south and east, over there somewhere.
The newer proposed one looks like it crosses through at least 3 in our county that I can see.
No, you have to look and see. So it can't go through, well, it can't go through Union Slew because that's affected to.
Right.
Not that you would think running it through a slough would be a bad idea too, but what do I know? Right?
Well, I mean, they're not gonna be able to get in there and dig because the,
Birds.
well, and it's a protected land. And,
Yeah.
and you can't typically dig in protected land.
Right, right.
Yeah, the same guy there too.
Well, thanks for showing me that, I appreciate it.
These are extra squeaky this morning.
Yeah, it looks like it crossed the river right by Irvington. 'Cause it
Yeah.
looks like
Yeah.
180th. There's this, yeah.
I've been considering trying to quote Lake Association. If they had a big association, they'd have money to. Alright, good.
You accept?
Oh, well, I sent you the sample one, but we need to write one up.
Yeah.
Cause that we need.
Yeah, once you get it done or.
Yeah, Yep. Once you get in there, going back. Well, that's part of the process. I said, back when I was having, we were all township or business officer or tank. I said, we get built, we get off to Paul Road.
Ormo Creek, is that all right?
I'm not sure.
I don't even have that.
Yeah, we get to put it in the shed.
I'd be surprised if he gets probation. Yeah.
You get all worked up over it. It won't change. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. We got back to me and flew it home. Got that reclassified as traffic suitcase, 68. Changed that out into we had that drive out of it. He was going to take it 1 year to get it last time. Well, we probably, I lose maybe 10 acres out of that deal. After that, I get that, that's probably well, you slow down for subsurface, there's the other town, when you get 4 acres.
Well, yeah, but I was trying to follow it, so if you had a waterway,
Well, it used to be when I was a kid, I think along that waterway, I was there with fun. East running across, it was waterway flood. Everybody behind you says, oh, we can't get rid of it. Okay, you say, well, we have to. I'll go back and put my money back.
and all your not flowing down to the river, right?
So we get drafted. There ain't been any terrorism in the show that thing. Could happen.
It's funny how good the tile
Yeah, they just look at how much more tile we add to it. I mean, we have our red quarter right there, you know. Now, we've got the highest.
Even your old 50 acres, and we tile flooded in there and still don't work good.
Yeah, but it will straighten up over there. You got,
You got a good outlet.
you got to get out there, you still get back pressure when the creek's out, but
You did that at the right time and ready.
sure, Elmore and Nelson, if they're got 2.5.
Yeah, I know, I heard that.
Yeah, you're right.
But you know, halfway to Dakota, we got a farm there. It missed out on 3
While you guys are here today, you have to go meet Todd's new employee, Mackenzie. She's very nice, very bubbly.
Who's that?
Todd's new hire, Mackenzie.
Yes, you want it?
Oh, we got a job for her.
Yeah. Okay.
She part-time or full-time?
She was replacing Jackie.
Okay. That's what I was thinking too.
I got a, right about an inch over last day.
You were dryer.
A little bit. The one where
Wesley got between 6 and 8 in the morning, or whatever that Tuesday when I left.
No,
Well, when I got home, I had about 3/4 inch, so it rained during our meeting, but when I left home, everyone else had 5, 6 down here, I had 3 inches. I was rolling all night, 1 in the morning, watching the storms just dismount you guys down south here. It looked nasty, but they got pounded.
I heard screaming in Hammond County.
But I think they're pretty high already.
Yeah, man, I won't be at the
Yeah.
county breakfast,
I
cause
think
they're
they're
fully,
full of.
Okay,
I'm sick as hell.
okay.
It's actually.
First one or whatever, yeah.
I haven't
Let's see if I RSVP'd to that.
I was at a job on the lake a few days ago and it wasn't. Last year, yeah, but it wasn't that
I don't
long.
even have that on the calendar.
I didn't either. I got the card right here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab mine so we can,
Built it in 6 months. One of them reservoirs in California, that they dead bodies and stuff in the last year now. Everybody's full. I'm ready for another drive. Good.
We're gonna have Christmas in July again?
Okay, hi. We didn't know if we could come in or not. It's kind of like everything is outside. It's
Yeah,
like,
we're on break right now.
oh, okay. Come on in, everybody. Yeah, you wanna just sit here and then. Oh, sorry.
That morning went by fast. I was gonna say, we lost.
I'll take this tomorrow.
Right. Okay, we'll have to wait till 9 to start on the
That's fine.
project vote. Okay. I'm gonna get back.
Quietest I've heard this
Well,
around for a while.
yeah, we got one thing we can do here yet, with the resolution for the 2080 agreement with Precinct Atlas. Did you wanna talk about that at all, Tammy, anymore,
Yeah.
or Todd said it's ready to go?
yeah, so it's a resolution dissolving the 2080 agreement we made in 2013 with Precinct Atlas. Now we have Tenix. We used it for our first election and the primary June 4th. It works very well. We're very happy with it. And unfortunately, the 2080 agreement stipulates, which we were not aware of, that if we dissolve after January 31st, we still have to pay the fiscal year fees that we're in, so it is $4,000 we're still gonna be responsible for, which we are paying now. If we didn't already approve it, we will be approving it. But this, we'll send this along with that check so that there's no issues come next fiscal year. So they've already been made aware that we're dissolving that agreement. And like I said before, this is the same resolution that, Boone County, or not Boone County,
Yeah, you said.
Boone County used, so,
Yep.
and Todd said it looked good to him, so.
Okay. Well, any questions from the board? If not, this is resolution 06-18-2402. I would entertain a motion to approve.
So, I'll second.
Okay. Thank you. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Plath,
Yes.
Jerks,
Yes.
Wactor,
Yes.
Nath,
Yes.
Stecker.
Yes. Motion carried unanimous. Alright, there you go, thank you. Now we still got a couple minutes before 9.
While we're waiting, could we have you all be introduced to our interns and then we can.
Yeah, we can do
They do their
introductions.
presentation, they can introduce themselves.
Yep,
So Tammy, do you wanna start?
Sure, I'm Tammy Eden, Kossuth County Auditor and Clerk to the Board of Supervisors.
good morning, I'm Kyle Stecker, 4th District Supervisor, which is the northern third of the county roughly. Currently chair of the board, been on for about 5 years, 5.5, so.
Good morning, Carter Nath. I live down Laverne for the 1st district, which is about the southern third of the county outside the city of Algona. And I've been on the board, this is my 2nd year.
Josh Wachter, 3rd District, which is the east half of Algona. Been on for 2 years as well.
Roger Jarvis, the middle part of the county, District 5. It goes clear across the county, just about the middle part. Takes a little bit of Algona, not too much. I've been on the board 12 years.
Jack Flatt, District 2 Supervisor. I live in Algona. Kind of have the, I don't know, to say the north half of Algona, runs from the country club, east to west. Been on the board for 19 years.
Any questions you guys got for us right now?
They're all smiling, you know.
Yeah.
They must be up to something.
I told them that, maybe we could do their introduction so they can tell a little bit about themselves. So do you wanna go ahead, Amelia?
Sure. My name is Amelia Jacobs. I attend Buena Vista University and I'm currently an intern at State Line Cooperative. I'm their agronomy communication intern.
And what are your 2 degrees that you're going for?
So I'm double majoring in strategic public relations and communication studies with a minor in ag.
I have to tell you a little bit about Amelia. So Amelia, how far do you drive to come to our intern program?
An hour and a half.
She lives in Minnesota.
Oh, where?
So,
Near Alden, but you probably know Albert Lee, so.
Yeah, I'm a Minnesota girl also, so glad to have you here.
oh, there's she. Benjamin?
I'm Ben McConaughey. I am a agronomy major at BU. Think about moving into a biology major as well. I'm a senior and I work as well at State Line as the agronomy and precision intern out there.
I'm Violet Bodie. I just graduated from Bishop Garden High School, and next year I'm going to Iowa State to major in human resources and in sociology. I'm interning with Kossuth and Palo Alto County Economic Development this summer.
Thank you.
And Benjamin, where are you from?
I'm from Allison, Iowa, so
Okay.
about half an hour west of Waverly.
But here, how far do you drive?
So I live in Fenton, Iowa currently,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
renting a house out there.
Sure.
So
Very good.
I mean, I drive 15 minutes to Ringstead, and then I grab my work pickup and drive about 35 minutes. I go back and forth.
Oh,
He
That's
works a
not-
lot in Ringstead area, so.
Okay.
that's not too bad.
Yeah, he's kind of wondering if it's gonna rain today, so if he really has to work today, I'm like, bitch.
It hasn't rained at Ringstead this year, has it?
About lost my boots once or twice.
Do you think the drought is over?
Yeah.
That should be enough moisture for the next 5 years.
It won't last
Is
quite
that your
that long. Well, we do have 9 o'clock here, so we can actually get started again. I'll let you guys have the floor wherever you want to start.
I'll hand Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
So we're here, we just introduced ourselves, Violet, Ben, and Amelia, and we're here to present Project Hope. Project Hope are 2 weeks dedicated to donating items that will help provide a sense of ease and comfort for children and teens removed from their homes. This year, Project Hope weeks are set for June 24th to July 5th. Items that are collected will be delivered to the Department of Human Services, care team, and law enforcement agencies around Kossuth County. Throughout this whole event, interns gain the experience of volunteering to making a difference in the lives of people in need. The interns are requesting that the Kossuth County Board of Supervisors proclaim the weeks of June 24th to July 5th as Project Hope Weeks. And for reference, here's a Project Hope box that will be sitting out in the businesses.
Perfect.
So Tammy right now has 3 copies of the proclamation. If we can have those signed right now from you, and then we will give one to the paper to be published along with, then you keep one here and showcase it, and we will showcase it in our office. So we'll send it out to all the local papers to let them know.
Is it okay if we put it on our Facebook page?
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love that. That'd be great.
Okay.
So this basically, do you want to tell them what your roles as interns are for this Project Hope?
Yes, so as interns, we made all these boxes and we'll be delivering them throughout the community. And then after they're filled, after July 5th, we'll pick them up and we'll sort all of the items in our office and distribute them into bags. And we'll have male and female bags and family bags. The family bags will have baby items, and they're supposed to have every miscellaneous personal hygiene item that one could want.
So we're hoping that we get a lot of really good products, and also when we give to the care team, there are some things over the years that people have provided to us that normally we don't request, that it's really turned into being a necessity for the family bag. And the family bag, if we could get new towels, not used, but new towels are really, really important for us to be able to insert. So we're kind of hoping we get a few towels this year to be able to provide to the family bags. And also Pharmacists Mutual, what have they provided to us?
Teddy bears. Pharmacists Mutual gives us brand new teddy bears that we can put in all the family bags. And
So Roger, how have you used the teddy bears?
Oh, they're awesome. We use them all the time, especially if any families that are subject to a victim type crime, then we make sure that all the children are. Project Hope is a great thing. We're so happy that you guys do it.
Thank you.
So it's worth their time, and they're learning that volunteerism is really a critical part of what they have to do as they walk through life. And service is very much needed in our area. So I would have to say we've got quite a few interns that really jumped on top of this one to do that. So we appreciate their time too, especially as far as they drive, for heaven's sakes. So, all right.
Well,
Thank you.
Is this, you have it just sitting at various businesses in the community then?
Yes, so we have a couple banks, mostly Algona this year since it's kind of on a smaller scale than it has been in the past, but we have a bank in Whittemore, I think that's in West Bend Country Maine. That's as far as we extend.
Dollar General, it's going to be at Hy-Vee. You guys have the list.
Yeah, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Farmer State Bank, Chemna's, pharmacists. What else?
So they all volunteered to be managing the boxes at the different locations. So we have another work session on Thursday, and then if they don't get the boxes distributed today, that on Thursday, that's when they're gonna be distributing them throughout the area. And we are just concentrating this year because we do have a smaller group of interns this year, and the board, knowing what we're also doing on the side right now, that, you know, having it more condensed this year and being able to manage that is probably wiser, and it truly is. So we appreciate that the board made that decision, so.
Well, is there any questions from the board here? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion to approve this proclamation.
So moved.
Okay. Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carried unanimous.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Patty.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys.
We'll take that to the auditor's
Yes,
office.
please.
Good. I'll wait, and if you want to go ahead and take it to the auditor's office, I'll wait till they get this signed and grab them.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I
guys.
know what I have to give you, additional from the interns, is we
Yes,
have
thank
Cutaway
you.
Breakfast coming up.
Yes.
So, please let Tammy know, who's all going to be attending, and then we will get you signed up. We are finding that companies are having more staff individuals attend for this true training of leadership, so kind of excited about that.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you guys for all your work.
Thank you, guys.
And also, thank you for your commitment and support. Greatly appreciate it.
Same. Have a good one.
Nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Roger, again.
Alright.
Now I'm gonna take her to Feedville.
Next up is a resolution objecting to the Iowa Utility Board's authority to enact eminent domain authority within Kossuth County for privately owned and operated carbon dioxide pipelines. Carter?
Yeah, so I put this on the agenda. Both Bremer County and Wright County had reached out to me, requesting that we would put this on the agenda, to at least discuss. We've already filed this position as far as, opposing the use of eminent domain for private companies with the Iowa Utility Board in our proceedings before, in our brief. But this is just another step of a county taking an official resolution action to say this is where we stand on an issue. I believe Bremer and Wright, of course, and then as well as Shelby and Story, and maybe Emmett, I can't remember, but a group of them are, that we've been involved with all along have been passing something like this. So if it's all right with you guys, if it's something we want to do, can communicate with Todd.
I already did.
Okay.
I sent it to Todd, and he
Okay.
said the only changes he can see is to change it to Kossuth.
We'll just have to modify it to Kossuth County. That's all I could see too, but just wanted to have an attorney look at that. And, so that would be why it's on the agenda.
Okay.
Move to approve the resolution objecting.
We don't have one with our name on it yet.
With changing it's a copy and paste resolution pretty much. We'll just need to change Wright to Kossuth.
I mean, you could approve it, I mean, that's the only changes.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
so it'd be resolution number 06-18-24-03, pending the changes from, Wright County to Kossuth County from what's in our packet. Is that your motion, Jack? Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? You got your notes there, Tammy? Alright, roll call vote please.
Plath,
Yes.
Jerks,
Yes.
Wactor,
Yes.
Nath,
Yes.
Stecker.
Yes, motion carries unanimous, we will get that kinda touched up and then signed here. Alright,
Sooner the better, so they get it before the next.
Right.
well, yeah, yep.
I would hate to let it go a week and then do a ruling in between.
You wanna give Doug a call? Yep, thanks.
Matt. Yeah, good morning, Doug. We are up to construction right away. Oh, okay, nope, sounds good. Yep, he said it might be a little bit, we're trying to get something resolved out there.
Okay, well, we have a conference call with Palo Alto at 9:30, so we'll probably have to keep that in mind.
I will go work on that resolution quick then.
Perfect. Do we have that report for back one? Do you have that, Carter?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's still not in our folder.
Okay.
And if we're just gonna do a phone call, we probably better have that handy.
He's got the report done.
Or no, I don't have the report itself. Yeah, just bring it today.
Is he gonna be here in person?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay,
But he is ready to come and give the report.
Yep.
We
okay.
don't need it to report ahead of time as long as he's got it done.
Right.
With set a time
Well,
and date.
if he's physically coming
He's
here
coming,
in person, then that's
yeah.
fine, but if he was gonna be in, Palo Alto or anything like that, then we wouldn't have a physical copy. Yeah, this is all.
He's scheduled to be in Emmitsburg at 8:05 for a landowner meeting, and then hopefully that won't last too long, I don't think he's gonna come over here, so.
Okay.
That's what the email said.
So he'll probably give them their copies in person when he's there in the, earlier in the morning.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Morning, everyone.
Morning, Doug. Tammy's working on updating a resolution for us real quick, and we've
Sure.
got a conference call at 9:30, but I think we can.
Okay.
I'll probably get her back so we can get started if she's.
Jay? Hey, Jay. You wanna do something with that tile? Is the water with your neighbor? Why don't you talk to Marge a minute? We forgot about that.
I talked to her last time at the Dow Garage, and she was gonna get back to me and had it. And then I started today and she hadn't got nothing done on it, so I don't think she could find anything, to be honest with you, but I'll check with her before I leave.
Check with her and see if she found anything new. I'll check with her when the meeting's over.
Yeah.
Alright, Doug, you got any construction right away?
Don't have any formal action for the board with construction of the right of way. We do have 2 federally funded bridge projects that need to be finalized out, and in order to get the final payment for those, we do need Chair Kyle to approve or to sign those documents. One of those bridges these are bundled projects that were let in 2021, and one of them is north of Lone Rock and west of Bancroft, the river bridge there, and then the other one is near the Big 6 elevator going over the river on that road there. So if I could get Kyle and you to sign that, and then
So are these just like final?
their final payment. Everything is, all the paperwork now is completed. Those 2 projects plus a project in Calhoun County were bundled together. The same contractor did that work. There was a federal aid grant that went with that.
Do we need to have a motion, or is this just?
It's not required, it's just a formality to make the final payment, so that all the work's been accepted, the bridges are open. The DOT needed to get some work completed prior to the final payment.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you. And then we are working with Tom Mergen and Larry Mergen out east of Algona. They are working on a project with Reitzel to bore under McGregor. Right now, everything has just been in some discussion, and they're looking at a couple of different options. Possibly we'll have some more work next week done on that, and I don't think that they're going to be close to doing any work yet, but maybe reviewing a little bit more specific with what's going on that project. So that's really working the road right away right now. Construction, the project south of Titanca, they're planning to pour barrier rail on that bridge tomorrow. After the barrier rail is poured, we'll get the bridge backfilled and get things ready so guardrail can be installed. And then that bridge would be open to the public. Down on the Boat Hobarton Road, that bridge, they're getting ready to drive the north pier piling, hoping to do that tomorrow. And then resurfacing work, they're working on A16. If they would get a full day today and some work tomorrow, they should be done with the resurfacing on A16, then moving back to P40 to do that local work there. There must be some work on Drainage District 60 Lateral 4. Is the board aware of anything going on there?
60 sub 4?
Sub 4, yeah.
There's tile improvement project.
Evidently, they're talking about boring under P30 tomorrow, starting tomorrow.
Okay.
I don't know if the board is aware of any of that work. I think it's just to start things. I got a contractor lined up for that.
Are they dug that far up to P30?
I don't believe so. I think this would be the first work done on that.
Okay. Yeah.
Last week, we spoke a little bit about the corner to the west of Sway City and north of Highway 9. The owner did get that cleaned up, but I'd also like to thank law enforcement, Sheriff Roger Fisher, for his help in getting that taken care of. Our office, we have 2 towns that we assist in snow removal, Lone Rock and Ledyard. We have 2080 agreements with those 2 communities. During the winter, when our operators work to do snow removal, they record it on their timesheets, and then we send a bill to them when winter is over. The city of Lone Rock has disputed the bill that was sent to them. I am in the process right now of generating a letter of reply. The 2080 agreements were written in 2010. I'm going to offer some renewal, if they would like to renew. We certainly should probably get that up to the proper hours, and then some other alternatives as far as snow removal, or possibly maybe they want to just completely get out of the 2080 agreement, provide their snow removal for themselves like other towns do. But I will be writing a letter, I'll send it to the board of supervisors, a copy of that. So if you receive something this week, then know what's going on.
Doug, on that is, so that bill they received was our actual hours reported by our operators, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Are they disputing all of it or saying that it should be?
Well, they're saying that some of the work that was done did not have to be done. They were, because it didn't snow enough, or it warmed up during the day to melt, I mean, a lot of things can be questioned after the day is over.
So they're not disputing the work that was done, they're disputing that it didn't need to be done. Okay.
Correct, yeah.
Interesting. Just was curious.
And like I say, you know, they certainly can do the work themselves if they would like to.
They could.
So I'll be getting that off. There is a lead yard. Lead Yard is having a street dance July 9th. That's a Tuesday, I believe. Yeah, and the board, or the road department will be providing road closed signs for that. They've talked with law enforcement. I don't know if Roger mentioned it at all, but they do this on an annual basis, something we've done in the past. And then for roads, I've had some secondary road employees approach me, asking if I know anything about the board's desires for health insurance contributions for employees next fiscal year, and also whether the board has any intention of reducing secondary road employees. We've had some employees that are looking at other jobs, and they kind of want to see what is in the future for Kossuth County Secondary Road Department.
Anyone have any thoughts?
I don't foresee insurance changing at all this coming year as far as what the employees are paying. That's just me. I mean, it's the board's decision.
Does that mean you're not gonna go to a high deductible plan? You're not gonna talk about it, or you're not gonna implement it, or?
Well, it's not that we can't have the option. As far as looking at an option of it, but.
I think they wanna know those things ahead of time, not.
Again, that's a board discussion, I guess, that has to be had.
But your discussion on insurance should happen at least 6 months before the decision is made on insurance. In other words, it should start in December, or at least to have the decision made in January, to give the employees time enough to react to what you're going to do. Because last year you talked about it a month or two before the insurance changed. That's not fair to the employees.
We can talk about it any time and what direction the board wants to go. I mean, if we want to have it on the agenda. So.
Well, the road department employees want to know ultimately what
the goal is.
If their out-of-pocket costs are going to increase.
Right.
That's ultimately what they want to know as far as insurance. And they also want to know if the board has a desire to reduce secondary road employees. It's been discussed, and employees just want to know.
I do not have a desire to know. But again, it's a board discussion.
Correct, yeah. So I don't know, Roger and Jack obviously will not be part of the next year's budget.
Right.
I don't know if Josh and Kyle can give any more information to secondary road employees or not.
I don't foresee, it's hard to tell what it's gonna look like, but, I wouldn't be in agreement to reduce the employees. But again, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know how everything's gonna look, so it's hard to say at this point right now. I don't desire to reduce it, but without being
Well, will
able to
the
tell
board,
future.
maybe, will the board be doing whatever they can to make sure that the same number of road employees are maintained?
It's a fair statement in my mind, yeah.
The intention of the board to keep the employees and not have it, would it be a fair statement that the board desires to keep the same number of employees and not increase out-of-pocket contributions?
I think it's difficult to speak to something that we're 6 months away from starting to even budget when the conversations we had this January changed substantially by the time we actually got to approving the budget, so I don't know that anyone can really answer that right now.
Well, I think that's why there's a lot of concern amongst the employees. Do you anticipate a value, the property tax values to decrease? I'll go out and just say that the road use tax, I don't anticipate any significant drop in road use tax, which makes up 70% of the revenue for the road department.
Employees wanna know what their
I mean,
future's gonna.
there's guys that have offers, I'll be honest.
Yep.
And they like their job, but there's a lot of unanswered questions about the future. And they asked me to ask the board.
It's a fair question, because you're dealing with people's lives and their livelihood, and I think they deserve an answer. As far as I'm concerned, one person per township is not overstaffed, and that's where we're basically at.
Doug, do you mind if I expand on what you said a little bit?
Absolutely, that'd be fun.
So part of what's happening right now is a supervisor told an employee that possibly 10 staff would be cut next year. So all staff is wondering if that is true or not.
I did have concern, or employee reach out to me with that concern, knowing that was going around, yeah.
So it's not just secondary road, it's all employees, and it is a concern.
Again, yes, we will do, or I mean, I would do whatever I can to maintain the level of staff we currently have in the road department, but that's a board decision. I don't hesitate saying that, even not knowing what the company is gonna bring, so.
Thank you. That's all that I have for roads, I guess. I don't know if the board has any questions for roads.
Have you talked to that, property owner in Titanca with the right-of-way obstructions Mark Haverly had mentioned to me, by any chance?
We're gonna have to go up and survey a property line.
Okay.
And right now, due to whether it's vacation, construction, maintenance activities, the engineer's office, all people are out. So,
Okay.
it's
Just
gonna
was
take some
curious.
time. And my understanding is that that property line has been staked and the owner I mean, this is hearsay that the owner did not agree with that. So, again, if the board would like me to send notice to remove the obstruction to the property owner, I believe it's, Mrs. Boykin, is it Joy Boykin, according to mine.
Okay.
And,
Joy's deceased, so you'd have to send it to.
okay, I don't know, I mean, I'm looking
The
at,
state.
and I could certainly do that, however, they're not involved in it at all. There was a subdivision in the 40s on the west side of Titanca. It is labeled as being subdivision to Titanca. It was never annexed in. The person bought lots in that subdivision. It's not annexed, it's part of Kossuth County. The road right-of-way is not part of that subdivision. And the subdivision did not dedicate streets. So, all I can do is go out and mark where it's at and then see what's going on.
Okay. I was just curious.
I think it's for sale again too, I haven't heard.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe the issue will take care of itself in the end.
Maybe it will, yep. Alright. Anything else for Doug from the board here?
Did that junk ever get removed?
Yes, that's when I
You mentioned that earlier.
mentioned that earlier. So thank you to law enforcement and Roger Fisher. Roger was a great assist on that. So thank you. Landfill assurance, that was approved by the board last year, or excuse me, last week, and it was approved by the board later in the week, so we did get that back. And next week, I'd like to talk a little bit about self-insurance and try to move forward. I agree with what was said earlier. If insurance is going to change, there's got to be discussion, there's got to be education, and for it, especially if the board wants to move towards high deductible. But I could certainly, we'll talk about it next week. I was planning on bringing that up.
Okay.
So, and then is the board meeting on the week of June, or July 4th?
Yes.
July 2nd, the board's meeting? Okay, thank you. That's all that I have.
Planning and zoning meeting next Monday, is that still?
That was, we did not receive anything in writing for,
Oh, okay.
or
For the solar moratorium?
I've not received anything from the board or county attorney on that, so I never scheduled a meeting.
Oh, okay.
Is there
Okay.
still activity on that?
Todd was. Where were we?
Was that what we talked about the other day, Tammy?
Yeah, I thought it was scheduled, I didn't know.
I didn't
have
receive anything.
I have it on
So,
the agenda to be talked about on the 25th, so I don't know
Oh,
what was
okay.
supposed to happen in the meantime.
well,
That's about
I didn't receive any,
What do we need to get to you then?
what the board desires.
I
mean,
thought
for
you.
example, before the last time the ordinance was amended, the board had an ordinance. And that was brought to the Planning and Zoning Commission for discussion.
I think it was my understanding this wasn't the ordinance, but something had to be done as far as setting a moratorium for a certain period of time. The Planning and Zoning Commission first had to make that recommendation to us, or am I not?
I think that's an amendment to the ordinance.
Okay,
That's the way it was handled with the wind energy.
so the board needs to send,
If the board would like the planning, if the board desires the Planning and Zoning Commission to consider something, something has to be presented from the board.
Okay.
I have no, I don't, unless I'm mistaken, that hasn't been provided. I mean, we discussed it, but again, it was not presented.
I'm gonna find the minutes here, just a second.
May 28th.
Was that when I,
That's what you had sent to me. Let's see.
I'm trying to find that email where I sent you that.
Okay, discussion was held regarding a solar ordinance moratorium. The planning and zoning board will meet and discuss this item, and it will be addressed again at the regular board meeting on June 25th, 2024. That's what the minutes read. But we'll need to get something to you then, so we can move forward with that, I guess.
What was the date of that meeting?
Well, it was May 28th, is when we discussed that.
Okay. Well, we probably need to check in with Todd then, see if he's got anything
Make sure we get that
prepared.
Okay, I'm glad I asked. Yep.
Okay. Alright, thanks Doug, is there anything else? From anyone?
No, I do not have anything else.
Alright, thank you.
You bet.
Next we can go to Colin for the report stuff. Do we need to,
How you doing, Jay?
do we need to get signed in to conference line stuff?
Yeah.
Are they calling into our conference bridge?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have that number?
I do not.
Oh, there it is.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Yep.
Do I need to call it?
Yep.
You get the number. Yep.
Yep, you call, then access code and then phone too.
Welcome to AT&T's teleconference service. Please enter your access code, followed by the pound sign.
Thank you.
To join the conference as the host, press star. Otherwise, press pound.
Are we gonna start?
Yeah.
Please enter your host.
Hello? Oh, okay. Okay,
There are 2 participants on the call, including you. You are joining your conference as the host. For a menu of available commands, press star pound.
Hello Palo Alto, this is Kossuth.
can you hear us?
Yes, we can.
Okay,
Perfect. We have our full board and auditor and drainage clerk. Colin's here as well. Just handed out the reports and we've got 2 members of the public, so. Do you guys have your full board?
Yeah, we have full board, Lisa King here, the papers here, Carmen and George from the auditor's office. There's no public here today.
Alright,
Alright,
feel free.
yeah, morning everybody, and I don't know if I've actually met all of you Kossuth County board members, but I'm Colin Klingbeil with Jacobson Westergaard out of Esterville. Yeah, so we're working on this joint drainage district 1, that's Palo Alto and Kossuth County. And Palo Alto County, by the way, I left, I think 5 or 6 copies of the report on the board table. Did you find those?
Yes, we did, Colin, thank you.
Okay, alright, thanks. So, and just, I've got 3 different handouts here and they kind of get more in-depth as you go. So there's a 1-pager, try to do a kind of project summary to boil down some of the technical jargon into a more condensed form that's more quick hitters, but as you know, it's a big project. There's a lot of history. There was a major repair project done just a few years ago. And then last spring, kind of an isolated big flood event, came through and did a lot of damage along the ditch. I put in this 11 by 17 plan set. It goes through the entire stretch of the ditch and it shows all the sites that we identified for damages. The damage kind of varies, and I will say too, I think we looked at it in November and December of last year. I do think that the snow melt from the winter prior had something to do with this as well. For sure, there was several pipes that had the ends bent up, and I think there was maybe some ice jams or things like that smashed some pipes and maybe roughed up the ditch channel, the banks that weren't really well established yet, reestablished with vegetation, and then that made it even more susceptible when that flood came through and washed the ditch banks pretty badly. So we know that a lot of money was already spent on the prior project. We looked to try to find funding, and normally this would be a typical project that you'd see be eligible for FEMA funding, just by the looks of it. But prerequisite for FEMA funding is a governor disaster declaration and also a presidential disaster declaration. Neither of those two happened here, and I don't know if it was just the isolated nature of this, or if some of these damages weren't known until a little bit later, but none of that happened. So unfortunately, this is not eligible for FEMA funding, which is a big deal because that usually covers 85% of the repair bill. And so we drove up and down the ditch and inventory damages. We tried to take a balanced look at this, and what I mean by that is we know that drainage ditches have some capacity to heal themselves if you give them a chance. So if there's just a little slough, you're oftentimes better off leaving it than to come in with an excavator and re-disturb the whole area. You're spending money and you're leaving it maybe worse off than if you just left it. So we did take some of those things into consideration, but that being said, there's still many areas that are damaged to the extent that I'd say something needs to be done. If nothing is done, it's just going to get worse. So we did find that the worst damages tended to be in areas that had poor material in the banks. So the original ditch actually was dug at 1-to-1 bank slope, so 1 foot horizontal for every foot vertical, 45-degree angle. It's naturally kind of eroded a little bit flatter than that. It just couldn't hold that slope. And truthfully, it could be a little bit flatter yet. But especially sandy areas, gravelly areas, even 1.5-to-1 really isn't gonna hold up under big events like this, particularly following a major repair project that stripped the banks bare. There was some grass starting to grow, but it really wasn't well rooted, and grass doesn't grow very well in sand and gravel. So it would eventually, it just takes time, and it didn't get that chance. So, all right, we're looking at doing repairs. So this is where we're looking at options, right? What do we have for options here? So the first option is, well, use a bunch of riprap, basically. But riprap is expensive. It works well, it tends to hold up if it's done right, and if you're using large enough stone, it holds up really well, but the big downfall is the expense. So we did two different cost estimates as part of this report that we're filing today. We have a third one, and that one, what I'm planning to do, I didn't quite have that ready, because we're also looking at, instead of just on spot repair, okay, let's put some riprap, let's shape the bank. What about this sloping the bank back on the entire ditch? And there's pros and cons to that. I think when we look at different options for this ditch, there's not one that's just, this is perfect, it's really low cost, it's gonna do great. You kinda gotta weigh the cost and the benefit and the longevity of all these things, but we're planning on filing an amendment to include that flattening the bank slopes to 2-to-1. Of course, where it's along a road or something, we can't go any further, we can't slope the banks back there, because we don't wanna be into the road. But everywhere else, basically, we go to 2-to-1. And then the other option was, okay, instead of riprap everywhere, which is expensive, we'll get to kind of the cost for these options in a little bit, but everywhere that we can, we try to just shape the bank. So there's a slough, and so basically we're just pulling back that bank and trying to reshape it so it's not vertical right there. It's not sloping it back to 2-to-1, it's putting it back the way it was, except the ditch will be a little bit wider, because we can't put that bad material back in there. It's likely to just wash away. So on that first page, so if we just go down to project cost estimates on the second page of the project summary, and this is where it starts to get a little bit scary, because if we do primarily riprap bank repairs, I'm estimating a $3 million project. That's part of the reason for looking at options, because that is a killer. If we go primarily bank shaping repairs, I'm estimating 1.5 million. I would anticipate that this flattening the bank slopes of the entire ditch would fall somewhere in between. We're pretty far along on that, but just not, there's permitting and other things that I just wasn't comfortable including it in the filing today. Yeah, Roger.
If we could just reshape the banks, flatten the banks where we have a real issue with sand and gravel like we've seen down on some of it, could we do some riprap, some bank flattening? Because there's sections in there where there's good black dirt that I don't think we necessarily have to do a 2-to-1 slope.
Are you talking a hybrid between
Right.
riprap and bank shaping,
Right.
or a hybrid between just bank shaping certain areas?
Well, I think a hybrid between the bottom two, and the less riprap we use, the better off we are, because it tends to end up in the bottom of the ditch.
Yeah.
That's my opinion, I don't know what yours is.
Sure, it varies. I think it depends on how you put it in, and there's pros and cons to that too, but it tends to hold up better than a sandy gravelly bank does.
Right.
But it's very expensive. I tend to agree with you. In seeing the ditch, there are areas, there's plenty of reaches that it's good black dirt. And I don't want to give the impression, this is a 30-mile ditch.
Right.
The entire thing is not white. I mean, there's plenty of stretches that are plenty good. It's hard, because if you start sloping it back in just a little spot, because it's sandy, you kind of create these in and outs at the top that can, when you do have a flood, you could have problems there, but those are the type of things that we could consider.
Because I'm looking at it, the bottom part of the ditch is probably the worst as far as sand. The bottom.
The lower
end
miles,
and the lower,
yeah.
what, 5 miles?
South part,
6
yeah.
miles?
Okay.
Probably even
Yeah,
10
yeah.
miles.
Needs a different approach than the top 20 miles.
Area around West Bend, very
Yeah.
different soil than the area around Fenton.
Yep,
Right.
that's true.
Yeah,
So
I would,
I think it has to be sectioned off, what you're going to do to improve the ditch or to get it stable has to be done in sections, not the whole ditch.
well, and I would say, I mean, I'd be very supportive of flattening out the slopes. The work we did on drain 4 went to a 2-to-1. That is, in general, probably better soil than the lower end of pack 1. But with the rains we've had, it's held up very well. Getting grass established is important, and I will say, seeing that project, I would not hydro seed again, and I wouldn't conventional seed. I would apply with an airplane probably a couple times, because for the price tag of what we did with an airplane, I'd say we could probably apply seed anywhere between 2 and 5 times and have a better result and a cheaper cost. You have to try and time it with the weather, but with applying by plane, you can do that because you do it all at one shot. So you can kind of pick your weather, especially if you've got a good company to work with. So I saw probably the best results out of all we had seeding wise from the plane. One of my concerns with pack 1, there's some areas where it's really sandy. I don't know if you're even gonna touch much at a 2-to-1, which is scary, because some of that may actually need to, in really, really isolated areas, some of that may need to be more towards a 3-to-1 even.
Yeah, if it's straight sand,
Because it's
if you look at the science, they say 3-to-1.
Okay.
More almost, you're out of your boundaries of what we can even work in, then.
Well,
Yeah,
we
that's
need
part
right
of it.
away.
Right. And I do like what you're saying though, and I think that helps me too in this flattening the banks in this amendment, because I do think that's a good point. I don't know that we need to slope back the upper end.
No.
You know, if we focus on some of those areas that have more of the poor soils, the poor bank materials. And then that could help. Like, I have a quantity of excavation estimated, but I'm still working on that, and I can just I can try to figure out where to exclude out and then bring the cost down to that.
Well, and if you, I do agree with your concerns of going in and out a bunch.
Yeah.
I would say you probably wouldn't want to go in and out more than, I don't know, a handful of times in a mile maybe. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't want small sections in between, but if we got a 1/4 mile or a 1/2 mile where it's good, that's maybe where I would leave it be. Because yeah, otherwise in your heavy rains, yeah, you do get a little more of that snaking potentially. But if it's kind of rounded and merged in, hopefully that would kind of mitigate the risk there a little bit, if it's a soft curve.
The other issue that I have here is you got a lot of corners in here that tend to really erode. There, I'm gonna say you're gonna need riprap in certain areas where you got a corner. But where you got a straight shot, I can't see where riprap does a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
And some of those might need riprap and pulling the bank back to a 2-to-1, because that'll really protect it a lot.
Yeah, I don't think there's a one size fits all. This is 30 miles of ditch, and you gotta kind of suit the situation. It makes it, I think it's important to talk through I mean, there's different ways of making repairs to this, and the goal is to fix it in a way that it's not likely to happen again. I mean, you can't protect against a 1,000-year event or whatever, but, and ditches do need some maintenance regardless. But at the same time, we wanna do our best to get it fixed so this kind of thing doesn't happen again, but at the same time being aware of cost. There's already been a lot of money spent, and, you know, do we wanna do that again? I think, and I'll just kind of, for this report, what I talked about is if we end up not flattening the banks back, what I kind of would recommend is something like what you're talking about, where instead of just, in either of these two options, I didn't just do all riprap or all bank shaping. In the one that I focused on bank shaping, there were still real bad spots that, like, you can't. We're gonna have to use riprap here. But it'd be more of a, okay, on a site-by-site basis, we're trying to keep costs down, but we wanna make it work. We look at what the soils are there and kind of decide this is what we're gonna do. A bunch of these sites, if you look through the plans, there's different colors, and some of them I have labeled as bank shaping, riprap or bank shaping. Like, I feel like either one could be done. I think the biggest thing with the bank shaping is that it's cheaper, but it really didn't address the underlying issue, because it's basically just saying, okay, we're gonna go to where it eroded, and we're gonna put it back at 1.5 to 1 where it was. But probably the reason why it sloughed off is because it's bad materials. And so we just moved it back and put it back the way it was, basically, which was a problem. And not to say that some of these areas, if vegetation would have been well established, maybe, you know, we wouldn't have as much damage, but there still would have been plenty the way it looks. A couple other things I just want to mention. On permitting, if we do bank shaping and riprap, I don't think we're going to need a permit from the Iowa DNR, but it looks like we potentially would need one from the Army Corps of Engineers. They have a regional permit, but that limits you to you have to be under 2,000 feet of bank stabilization using riprap. And we would be, pretty much with any of these, we're gonna be in excess of that. So I'm working with them on that. And then if we did the bank flattening option, we potentially might need a permit from the Iowa DNR. I'm working with them on that as well. Buffer strips, so, and maybe you've heard some about this for open ditch projects, but typically if there was CRP along the ditch, what we would do in the past is ask the landowners to request a waiver, so that disturbance during the nesting season was allowed. A policy change from the USDA, NRCS have made it more difficult to get that. Now, instead of the county committee approving it, the state technical committee has to approve it, and that goes with an environmental review. So, but it's a big deal. I mean, May 15th to August 1st is the nesting season. And if you cannot get in there and work on these ditches during that time frame, I mean, winter, when it's frozen, you can't do much. So it really limits the ability to do work. So that's a concern, and as part of this, I'm recommending that landowners get right on that and request approval from the state technical committee. Those are kind of the major things. Are there any questions at this point? Comments?
Anything from Palo Alto? Any questions, comments, anything? you have something, Roger?
We just have to get us unmuted. Here you go.
What was that?
They were muted.
We were muted.
Oh, okay.
So go ahead.
Did you guys have any questions or concerns or anything?
No, I mean, we've been listening, it sounds like you're working through the problems that you're dealing with, so no, we're okay.
Okay, perfect, just wanted to check.
Time frame.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
You're probably going to put this out on bids.
well, we're filing the engineer's report today, so the next step is to have a hearing.
Public hearing.
So that's a kind of the takeaway or the action item today is to tentatively approve this report and then set a time and date for a hearing. And basically, as soon as we can on that, to try to keep this moving with the time frame in mind.
There's farmers that want it done
Yes.
this year, that's my point.
Farmers don't want it done yesterday.
They want it done yesterday, and they
Yeah, or-
sure want it done this year, so
Yeah,
that's where I'm.
do you have anything in mind or just the soonest possible date, like?
Yeah, I don't have any, my Tuesdays are open for the next month.
Okay, March, what would be the earliest?
Do you have to wait the 40? Or is it?
Yeah, actually, my understanding is that it's 20 days from when you get the notices sent and when you get it published in the newspaper. In the code, the way that I read it, it makes it look like it has to be at least 40 days after today.
Right.
But, Jim Hudson said this other way, and I thought, well, I don't know, it doesn't hardly read that way, Jim. But then I did find, if you want me to send it to you, I can. I found a thing where it was a court case and they were talking about something else, but they mentioned that and they very clearly said that it's the 20-day thing that matters.
Yes, yeah.
So it just kind of depends on how quick you think you can get the notices sent out and published in the newspaper.
Well,
And then 20 days after that.
Is what we go by over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so,
The notice would have to
Yeah.
Okay,
Would you
all right,
prepare the notice? Would you prepare the notice
I can.
with your?
okay, so from
The 27th,
today,
the 27th is the earliest it'll be published.
27th of June.
Yeah.
okay,
In the paper, yep.
so 3 weeks from that would be 18th, so like the 23rd,
The first date you can do it.
July 23rd would be the earliest probably.
Yeah. Let's try that.
Are there any conflicts or any objections to July 23rd? Or, I don't know.
What time are you gonna have the hearing?
And I don't know. Does 9 o'clock work?
Whatever.
We
Does
gotta have time to get over there. I don't think we can do it by conference call, can we?
You want us to be over there for that, or?
I guess we could probably go either way. I mean, we can do video and stuff too, if that would make any impact for you guys. We could do like Zoom or Teams or something too.
You wanna do that?
I can do it at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, we can, whatever works best, so, yeah.
Would you do it in here?
This will probably be a fairly lengthy.
Well, probably election center.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah, and we'll probably need to do it in the election
I'd have to
center.
check the dates to make sure it's open that day.
Okay. Is that something you have access to here?
Yeah.
Okay. I would have a feeling we'll have a few people show up for that one, and yeah, it might be lengthy, or would you guys rather do that first thing in the morning and then follow up with our regular board meetings after that?
How about if we do it at 10 o'clock and do our other agenda items first thing in the morning?
And then come over after that?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, yeah, we could make that work.
10 o'clock on the 23rd.
Okay. So,
Need a motion.
do you know if that's open?
It's open.
Okay, looks like our election center is open, so I would entertain a motion to set the public hearing for July 23rd at 10 a.m. at our election center.
So moved.
And is that tentatively approving the report also?
We just need to acknowledge the report.
Yeah, I think we just acknowledge the report, so.
Okay, I thought he said tentatively approve it.
Well, same thing.
He didn't know if we
Basically,
did.
acknowledge that you received it.
Yeah, yep. So we can just have a note in the minutes for acknowledging the report that we received it. And then Carter made the motion to set that date. Is there a second from Palo Alto?
Yeah, second by Ron Grettinger.
Alright, thanks Ron. Any discussion on that motion with the date?
Any discussion over here? No, we're good over here.
Alright, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Everyone on Kossuth County is aye.
All eyes here, Palo Alto.
Perfect, thank you guys.
Yep.
Motion carries unanimous. So we will have that public hearing scheduled, we'll get notices sent out. Colin, you're gonna put the notice together and get that to Marge and coordinate, perfect.
Colin, send it to Jordan too, please.
Okay.
Sounds good. Anything else for the purposes of this, proposal and public hearing and?
The one other thing that I'll mention is that, it appears, and not that we haven't driven the entire ditch this spring, but from the sounds of it, there's been some additional damages this spring. The governor has issued a disaster declaration for Kossuth County. At this point, the president has not. So, but there is a chance that there could be some funding for the 2024 damages, whatever they may be. And if that is the case, and that's something we fixed, we would try to secure that fund. I guess that's the only other thing.
Yeah, just document pictures and all that as much as possible.
Yep.
Cause that's critical. Have you worked with anyone in particular for FEMA stuff before? Like a consultant or anything?
No.
Okay, well, we had a lot of FEMA stuff in 18 and 19 and we did have a consultant that was engaged after we had started the process and stuff, but I can be in touch with you on that too. He was very helpful in getting through the paperwork and still is dealing with the paperwork, so. But, I guess, alright, last call, anything else, otherwise, hearing none, thank you Palo Alto, and I think we can continue on with our business, so.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Alright.
Have a good day.
Have a good one.
Thanks.
Yep.
Alright. Okay. Well, thanks, thanks Colin.
Good to put a face to the name.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay. Well, got that taken care of. Next thing is the joint drain claim for EK1, which was in our folder. Anything you wanna say about that, Marge, or?
Just that she had sent that in and they are the control county and she just had, to have her approve it also.
Okay, yep. It's for B&W. So I would make a motion to approve this claim. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thanks. Any discussion?
Yeah, is that the total amount that you're paying, or is that split between?
They would pay the majority, theirs is like 90%, we would pay,
Okay, so that's not our dollar amount
It's
there.
got a total,
That's the
it's a
total.
total vendor amount is
Yeah. Okay.
listed on there.
yeah,
Yep,
and they pay and then we just reimburse them. when they
Okay.
let us know.
Yep. Alright, any other questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carried unanimous. Repair requests, we only got, yep. Only one?
That's a pretty big change from.
Don't worry, I'll have at least 4 next week.
Okay, I've got 2.
Better last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, the portfolio.
14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marge.
I have one repair request, it's number 57 in Drainage District 77, open tile washout. It's in the end rows, so I'm assuming that we can get at it almost any time. And I'd give it to Wrightsville.
Alright. I would entertain a motion to approve.
Supervisors. Hear the request.
Is that a motion, Carter?
Oh, I was just correcting her.
Jack made the motion.
Oh,
Oh,
Jack, okay. Is there a
I'll second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carried unanimous. Discussion with our auditor.
Did you have anything
Any-
else about scheduling those hearings? Or did you already talk to them about that?
Oh,
no, we
yeah.
haven't, so next week, put that on the agenda.
Yeah, it'd probably
To-
be good to get them scheduled. Have you started anything for a letter yet?
I'm
For
putting
lateral.
some things together, so if you wanna look
Okay.
and see what we have.
Okay, yep, I can stop over after the meeting.
Okay.
Thanks, Marge.
Yep, thanks.
Okay, so next week on our agenda, support for the grandstand project. Do you want me to keep on there the amending the planning and zoning ordinance to address solar moratorium?
No, because we'll
Wow.
have to have a meeting.
Well, I would probably talk, we
Well,
probably need to talk to Todd and see
Yeah.
if he's got something, because if he's got something that we need to act on, we'll probably need something
Right.
for an agenda item. I don't know if it'll be that or not, but
I'll just put.
Either way, you need to talk to Todd first.
I'll just
Yeah.
put wait to hear from you guys.
Okay.
And then. So Todd sent you the lease that he drafted for EMA, EMS. Do you want that added to the agenda? Or where are we at with that?
what do you guys think schedule wise? When do you want that? Or do you wanna do a workshop on that or something?
On which one I didn't hear.
On the lease for the building. The emergency response and training complex. Todd sent out that draft lease,
I've seen it.
so,
Template,
yeah, we need to
you need to fill in.
We need to find a time to really dive into that.
I mean,
What's our agenda look like for next week?
I just told you.
If it stays that short, then yeah, we
Go
probably
for
could,
it, yeah.
probably could talk about it next week.
Yeah.
Why don't you just put it on the agenda?
What, how do
I'd
you
put
want,
it at the end so that we can
how do you want it worded?
probably just discussion on that lease.
And do you want it for EMA and EMS or just EMA?
Maybe just do discussion on the lease for that building, for the emergency response and training complex, then we can structure anything within there. So everyone, any thoughts on that, or good with that for agenda item? Okay. I would think that would adequately inform the public of what we are talking about.
Okay. And then, countywide breakfast, July 31st. You need to RSVP. Jack had said he cannot go. Anybody else?
I will be there.
I will plan on being there.
What time?
It is 7 to 9.
On the 31st?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's St.
St. Michael's, yeah. I'll just plan to be there.
Jack's gonna miss it, I think I'm gonna make it.
Okay.
It's a long ways away though.
Right.
All the way with.
No, time frame.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Summer things change fast.
And then. Just a reminder about North Iowa Regional Housing Authority. I don't know if you found out anything about that. And then,
Did we find out if that was a conflict at all? As far as,
Did you call Justin?
no, I didn't. I'll call him after the meeting. Yeah. Thank you for the reminder.
Let me know on that because I may have another person that might be interested.
May or might?
Maybe.
Okay.
Okay, well, it'd be good to get get someone for there, if we can.
and then, that's all I have.
Okay. Thanks, Tammy. Jack, do you have any board reports?
Board of Health tomorrow, and next Monday I have a reach out.
Okay. Roger, Josh,
No meetings.
Carter.
Just drainage, I got Care Connections and, Boone River Watershed next week.
And I did not have any other committee meetings that way, so. Alright, anything else? In general? Hearing none.
I had some questions about what the county's going to do with your insurance program. Some of the workers wanna know, so you guys are planning on changing it.
Well, and if we'll talk on that next
We'll
week.
talk about that next week. So.
Yep. So, well, sounds good. We'll plan on having that conversation next week. If there's nothing else, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Yep.
Okay, Jack had his hand up first, then Roger. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. We're adjourned at 10:19. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.